with fuels. Fuels, light, small or fast burning fuels, dry grass, dead leaves and tree needles, brush and small trees. Light fuels ignite quickly and cause rapid spread of fire. They act as kindling for heavier fuels and burn out faster. Some green fuels, such as tree needles, have high oil content and are fast burning when they are not in active growing stage. Second factor that affects the spread of fire is weather. One of the most important factors affecting the behavior of a fire is weather. The three most important components of weather are wind, temperature, and humidity. So let us first identify the wind. Winds generally blow up slope at 5 to 10 miles per hour during the day because sun-warmed air rises. At night, they reverse and blow downslope because cooler night air sinks. The wind at a night is not usually as strong as the wind during the day. So the second component of weather is temperature. Temperature fuels preheated by the sunburn more rapidly than cold fuels. The temperature of the ground also affects the movement of air currents. As explained previously, prolonged high temperatures also affect the endurance and efficiency of the firefighters. Then the last component of weather is humidity. Moisture in the form of water vapor is always present in the air. The measurement of that moisture is called humidity and is always expressed as a percentage. So we are now at the third factors that affect spread of fire. The third one is topography. The lay of the land is called topography. This is an important factor in the rate and direction of fire spread and is usually broken into three categories, namely the slope, aspect, terrain. So let us first identify the slope. Slope is the steepness of the land and has the greatest influence on fire behavior. Second category of topography is aspect. Aspect is the direction the land faces, north, south, east, or west. The aspect of a slope influences a fire's behavior in several ways. Southern aspects receive more direct heat from the sun, drying both the soil and the vegetation. Fuels are usually drier and less dense on southern slopes than fuel on northern slopes, heating by the sun. The third component of or category of topography is terrain. Terrain or special land features may control wind flow in a relatively large area. Wind flows like water in a stream and will try to follow the path of least resistance. So we are now at the second question. What is spontaneous combustion? Spontaneous combustion, the outbreak of fire without application of heat from an external source. Spontaneous combustion may occur when combustible matter such as hay or coal is stored in bulk. Flashover. Flashover is a thermally driven event during which every combustible surface exposed to thermal radiation in a compartment or enclosed space rapidly and simultaneously ignites. Flashover normally occurs when the upper portion of the compartment reaches a temperature of approximately 1100 Fahrenheit for ordinary combustibles. Backdraft. Backdraft is caused by the sudden introduction of air into a fire that has depleted most of the available oxygen in a room or building. Bite back. A bite back is a fatal condition that takes place when the fire resists extinguishment operations and become stronger and bigger instead. Flash fire. A flash fire is a sudden, intense fire caused by ignition of a mixture of air and a dispersed flammable substance such as a solid, including dust, flammable or combustible liquid such as an aerosol or fine mist, or a flammable gas. It is characterized by high temperature, short duration, and a rapidly moving flame front. Heat versus temperature. So heat is the amount of energy measured in joule that is involved in heating the water to a higher temperature. It does this through the process of heat transfer. Heat is the amount of thermal energy that is transferred from one object to another due to a difference in temperature between the two objects. This is why it is important to estimate how much heat there is in a fire, as well as how this heat energy can be transferred to its surroundings. In contrast, temperature is a measure of the average kinetic energy of the particles in an object. A hotter material contains more internal energy than a colder one. Temperature is measured in degrees Celsius, Kelvin, or Fahrenheit. A thermometer contains a fluid that expands as heats and contracts as it cools. With water, for example, as the temperature of the surrounding liquid increases. The liquid within a tube moves up the scale, and the increase in temperature is measured by the amount of movement of the top surface of the liquid. Another way to look at temperature is as a measure of the degree of heat of a body or a substance. Heat transfer is a discipline of thermal engineering that concerns the generation, use, conversion, and exchange of thermal energy between physical systems. Heat transfer is classified into various mechanisms, such as thermal conduction, thermal convection, thermal radiation, and transfer of energy by phase changes. Heat transfer is the movement of heat from one substance or material to another. Heat transfer takes place through three principal mechanisms: conduction, radiation, and convection. Heat transfer is the movement of heat from one substance or material to another. Heat is transferred in three ways. First is conduction, through via direct contact. Conduction is the direct flow of heat through material resulting from a physical contact. The second one is convection, through via fluid. Heat transfer between a surface and by the flow of fluid from one place to another, induced by temperature.
In conduction process, I use light candle and kutsara. So, in order to demonstrate the conduction process, kinahanglan nga ang kanang light candle ma-transfer ang iyang heat dana sa kutsara. And then, in a few minutes, I justified that ang heat is na-transfer siya sa kutsara. That's it.
So, let me show you the convection process. So, kung namoy makita nga singaw, that is convection process, which is transferred by katong pinakauna nga process, conduction process.
In radiation process, I use again the light candle. So, ako sa unang ipatindog ang light candle. Okay, napatindog na. Then, ato ipatunga ang light candle sa atong duha ka palad. In a few seconds, ma-feel na nato ang kainit sa ato ang palad, which is transferred by the heat, no? And then, that is what we call now a radiation process.